Welcome back to Underground Nutrition After Hours. Today we have a special guest, Frankie Pro, professional strongman. Today we're going to talk about
medically induced comas,
drugs,
AIDS,
conspiracies.
I get lines all over the place.
Yes.
I swear.
All right, welcome back to Underground Nutrition After Hours. It's been a minute. This is episode number 30-something.
34, 35.
34 or 35.
What number of season 2?
We're on season 3.
Three.
Season 3.
Justin just woke up.
And we have a very special guest with us today. His name is Frankie Pro,
Frank Pro.
also known as Frank Provenzano.
Fellow Ginzaloon.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Frank and I, a long time ago, before the podcast thing was really a podcast thing, did a really poorly shot interview style thing that actually did fairly well on YouTube for nobody caring.
Yeah, I think it got 37 views. Real big.
It broke 500.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it did pretty well. People really liked you. I'm not sure why.
It's like my high school.
But why don't you tell everybody at home listening, the tens of fans, who you are and what you do.
So my name is Frank Pro, like he said. I own and operate a personal training studio in Manalapan. I am a professional strongman, and at one time I was the 4th strongest man on the planet in my weight class. So, like, there's a lot of caveats there.
Yeah,
In my weight class.
in your federation.
A whole 4th. Never actually won anything, but we're working on doing that now. We're having the come up.
Wow.
Wow, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows. I think I mentioned Frank every other episode. And I'm like, I love Frank. I'll just.
Oh, yeah, all good things I've heard.
Like, I just love Frank.
Frank,
So,
going back a number of years ago, I'm not sure how we were introduced. I think it was through Alan. Alan's like, I met this guy. He's the best guy in the world.
That's a shining endorsement from Alan.
And you started working for us as like, you were like, I think our first hire. Back then, it was just me and Alan working the shop.
And John.
Well, yeah, once you came on, I could stop working for free.
Right.
John was getting paid.
He was pro
in
bono.
Cookies. No,
Alan
he was
was
eating all the
paying me
cookies.
in protein bars and
Energy
2-pound
drinks.
tubs of Nutri-Bio.
You were just happy to be there.
I was
We
excited.
appreciated that on the occasional time that we needed somebody to cover. So you were our first hire, and ever since then, we've established a long-standing good friendship.
Yeah. I think it might have been your first fire, too.
I'm not. Were you actually? Did we actually fire you?
Yeah, you sure did.
Who did it? Was it me or Alan? Do you remember?
I think I lost my keys one night, and I couldn't get to work for the 3rd day in a row.
Okay.
It was a sordid story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to get into
Well,
that.
we can do a little backstory because people may or may not know this. I feel like they do. Is that everybody? So like me and my partner Alan and John Ramsey and Mr. Justin and Frank all have at some point in their lives have had a severe drug or alcohol addictions. And so Underground Nutrition was sort of started by 2 ex-junkies, and then our ex-junkie friends decided they wanted to start businesses too. And now we're just like a team of
Idiots.
retards just doing stuff.
Can you say that?
Yeah,
We say it all the
yeah.
time.
This came
okay.
back. I read something recently.
Oh,
That
yeah,
it
yeah.
came back. It's cool. So we practice some form or another of recovery. You know,
Yeah.
Abstinence.
abstinence,
Full abstinence.
full
Full
abstinence for me. For example, my
Maybe
recovery
recovery
is
for Justin.
all of us take steroids occasionally.
Wait. Did you just out me?
Well, none of us are natty.
No.
But I guess let's talk about that. Let's talk a little bit about your journey with addiction and how you ended up being the productive member of society you are today. Like, when did you realize? At what age did you realize that like drugs were like you were different?
Probably my senior year in high school. I was working construction on the weekends just to make ends meet, and my boss would buy me booze. So I'd always show up to the party with booze.
Yeah.
Get hammered both nights every weekend.
Yeah.
Go to the bus stop, drive to school, drinking booze that I stole from the family bar.
Yeah.
That's when I knew.
And
But,
so that
I
that
was just
set you
partying.
off like that. So that the alcohol set you off. And then how old were you when you came into like the when did you realize like enough was enough and you were gonna try to like what was the transition like?
Rock bottom, I guess.
Yeah, what made you stop?
So I went to the military. I came home from the military. Then I got to the injectables.
Okay.
I was shooting speedballs for a long time.
Well, that was
Yep.
John's favorite.
That was such a good time. Forget about it. Just 1 minute.
love a good speedball.
No. And obviously it crashed and burned the way everything did. So I decided to go away for help again.
Uh-huh.
And after the treatment process that actually worked the first time, I ended up in the same sober house that you were in.
Me?
Yeah. Remember, I got your mail.
Oh, you did get my mail.
I got your
The
mail.
one in what you were in Howell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it burned down.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't there.
Yeah. That was a crazy place.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. You got my mail. It's
Yeah, the
funny.
basement was wild.
Yeah.
Were you a 12-step fellowship goer or no?
I did at first because that was what was required.
Right.
In the end, that is not what helped me.
Right. Okay.
In the end,
Let's put that on silent.
vibrate. I don't know how to put it on silent.
Let's throw it on the ground.
Anywho, in the end, the 12-step program did not work for me.
Okay.
What worked for me was removing myself from the same location as people who were talking and doing about drugs.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I hang out with you. We make sly jokes here and there, and I realized that I was less far along in my process because I would joke about it more often than you.
Yeah.
So it kind of kept me in check.
Yeah.
But the thing that finally, in the end, worked for me was eating healthy food,
Mhm.
getting a lot of sunlight,
Yeah.
sunning my taint.
Yes. Red light therapy.
No, I didn't sun my
Ice
taint.
baths.
I definitely used a little red light, but lots of sunlight, lots of exercise, heavy lifting, and being around people who were like-minded,
Yeah.
right? And then what solidified it, that's what finally got me all the way off.
Yeah.
But what solidified it was finding my purpose in life,
Right.
was having a job to do, was having responsibility more than just like, oh, I'm working for this person, I'm working for that person. No, I owned something,
Right.
right? I was able to scrape enough cash to buy that gym.
Yep.
And now I own something,
Right.
and it's my job to support myself and my girlfriend. And now it's my job to support myself, my girlfriend, and my dog.
Yeah.
And now it's my job to support myself, my wife, my dog, and my child. My child does not last, but
Yeah.
my child.
But that was, those
Most recent development.
right.
most recent development
Yeah.
plot twist.
Yeah. And that was a wild plot twist.
Yeah.
So what, like when we talk about recovery, me and Justin more than John, we preach abstinence. John likes to throw around the ideas of taking psychedelics as a good idea once in a while. We have to talk him off a ledge, but we are the abstinence crew, right? And I think for every one of us, I think there's somebody like you that abstinence wasn't the path you chose. You'll smoke a bowl, right?
Fuck no. A bowl will kill me. I will eat that little tiny much of an edible. I will take one hit off of a joint.
You'll
I'll smoke a little weed.
and you'll
Take a little weed.
you'll have like a drink.
I'll have a drink. Sometimes I'll have 2 drinks.
So were you abstinent to a point, like when you first got clean and sober? Were you abstinent to a point, and then you were like, I think I could smoke a little, or I think I could drink a little, or was that always like incorporated in like your version of recovery?
No, I was abstinent after. So I got put into a medically induced coma
Right.
for alcohol. And while I was in that medically induced coma, the reason they put me in was because my blood pressure was so high,
Yeah.
and they couldn't keep me out. They couldn't keep me down, so they had to give me more drugs than they would normally give somebody,
Right.
which resulted in a 7-day medically induced coma, which was actually a lucid trip.
Yeah. You remember you were dreaming during that?
I was active in the dreams, and it was things that had happened.
Was it like the Metallica song, "Darkness Imprisoning Me"? You know that
Well,
one?
no, but I did realize
Go ahead,
I
Scott,
couldn't
sing
move
it.
my hands. Yeah, choke on it.
That's
Did you
where
swallow
goes.
yours in? Did he swallow his one?
Little giggle.
I got this in and the giggle. I made myself laugh. And now we're here.
Okay.
Oh, excuse
Do
me.
we need to
Take
call
two?
somebody?
No, okay. So you're like the guy from the music video one.
Yeah, just like that. They did the thing in my brain with the worm. I always thought it was a worm when I was young.
So they had to put you in a coma, just so everybody's following you. They put you in a coma because basically they couldn't. There wasn't enough drugs available to safely put you out.
I go to the hospital to say I want a detox. About 2 hours later, I start to sober up. I am on steroids still because I was still lifting weights most of the time. And I started to break out of the restraints on the hospital bed. I destroyed 3 hospital beds. I think I beat up some orderlies. I'm sorry. Wasn't me.
I don't think they probably don't accept your apology. I mean,
I'm sure they do. That's their job. If not, find a new job. Go work.
Can you imagine what their night was like when they got home? Like,
Yeah.
the fourth strongest man in the world just
Seriously,
beat me up.
Oh, it wasn't then yet.
For $40,000 a year.
All right, so they pop you in a
So
coma.
anyway, I'm in a coma and I tripped for 7 days. It was wild. It was life changing. I come out of it. I have really no desire to drink or do anything. I set forth with healing my gut, which was a huge problem, getting myself back in shape. And then once I was back in shape and my gut was healed, I started weaning off the antidepressant that I had been on for 6-8 years, something like that. And that was a nightmare process. But I do believe that the antidepressant was one of the things that was keeping me sick.
Yeah. I agree
For
with you.
sure,
I'm
without
not
a
a
shadow
doctor,
of a
but I
doubt.
agree with you.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, I do believe that antidepressants probably have a place, SSRIs and stuff, have a place for some people.
A short place.
They're a hormone killer, though.
It's a much smaller number of people that should be on it than are actually on it. I'd say probably maybe 10% of the people that are prescribed SSRIs should probably just
Take fish oil.
go for a walk.
Right, fish
Yeah.
oil, right.
Fish oil, EPA. They say
Yeah.
there's a study saying.
I
go
think
on.
it was just when just where you're at when you're talking about coming out of that coma. Do you know the date, like roughly? Month, year?
I think we're about 2 years.
Well, yeah, because it was right around the time the gym opened.
Yeah, February 8th or 9th
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it was
I
literally-
remember
or 18th.
you coming into the gym to sign up, and I had known you for years as Strongman Frank, and it was the sight of you was uncomfortable
Yeah, you were.
of what you had done to yourself
But
at that point.
you bounced back
No,
in
oh, yeah, yeah,
probably
no.
2 months. I saw you when you got out, and you looked like a shell of a man. And then 2 months later, you were like,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking just you took some gear, but you looked like you had you looked like you were on the come up.
I mean, he came out looking like Tom Hanks from Philadelphia.
Worse, yeah.
And fucking
Yeah.
came back in 2 months looking like Goldberg.
Do you remember how much you weighed when you got out of the coma?
226 pounds.
Yeah. What
From
do you?
250.
Yeah.
What are you weighing now?
About 250 today.
Yeah.
252, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just my original question. So you go through all of that. It's life changing. I think I don't think even before that. I think you understood that you had a problem, a drug and alcohol problem.
Sure.
For some people that are watching, they may be interested because, like I said, for every one of me who's like Mr. Abstinence, right? There's somebody who's in their version of recovery. Because people would say that I'm not clean because I take steroids,
Right.
So it's not whatever's clean for you is clean for you. At what point in your journey did you say, I think I could smoke, or I think I can drink, or was that not a decision at all? You just did it.
I think I tried smoking first when I got out of the hospital to try to quell the problem I was having in my gut. The reason that I had led into drinking so heavily, and this sounds like such a cop-out, but this was my rationale, was I had developed something in my stomach, maybe from drinking, maybe from years of just drug abuse and treating my body like an amusement park,
Sure.
where I would eat and instantly start burping, belching, and then I'd have to throw my food up. In fact, the first 2-3 months when I was back at the gym, I would go to the bathroom and throw up in mid-workout because I couldn't drink my intra-workout.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Basically
and
like
so-
GERD, no?
It was
Some
something.
sort of something.
It was something.
Okay.
Vagal tone,
Uh-huh.
my brain, but whatever it was, I was throwing up all my food. I couldn't eat a cookie and get high off a cookie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was miserable.
Yeah.
So I would drink, and it hit quick because it absorbs in your mouth.
Yeah.
And then it went way out of control.
Yeah.
Way out of control.
So the smoking kind of calmed the belly.
No, made it worse.
Oh,
So
right.
I eventually,
Great experiment.
so I put it down.
okay.
Yeah.
So I put it down.
Were you smoking or like trying like edibles or?
I was smoking.
Because the weed game is totally different. I don't even.
Yeah, I don't even
It's not even
know.
recognizable to me.
Yeah, it's wild.
Anymore.
It's wild.
I
Dangerous. It makes me paranoid if I do too much. I have to take ashwagandha with it. It's nice at night, you know.
It's nice at night.
I like glycine.
Yeah.
Glycine? Little 5-HTP.
and glycine is
Yeah.
cool for me, but
So, was there any pushback in your personal life? Because when people come to me and they want to get clean, and they talk like that, like maybe I can have a drink. I always say, that's pretty dumb.
yeah, tread lightly.
For me, recovery was always just one thing: like don't drink and don't do mind-altering drugs, with the exception of Tren. And but that worked for me. But as I grew, like now that I'm 10 years clean and sober, and I see other people who I used to like probably put down, or and they're able to like have a wife and a kid and have a beer on the weekends, and I mean they've been doing it now for years. Like it's hard for me to even knock it. It just for me, it was a cost benefit ratio analysis. Like basically, if I could have a beer, the best case scenario is now I drink some beers. The worst case scenario is I find out I can't drink a beer, and we're back at square one.
Right.
So that cost benefit to me never seemed worth it. And weed, I just feel like I would end up in the hospital on like a fucking
Panic attack.
hyperventilating.
Risk
you know.
reward is not.
So is there any pushback from like people in your personal life, or were you just like, shut up, I'm doing what I want, I'm not drinking every day, like this is how it is?
Yeah, there was pushback at first. I never really had a doubt. I still don't have a doubt. I have no misconception about what happened to me in the past.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of never the same man in the same river.
Okay.
I've been through a lot. I have gained massive perspective.
Right.
Massive perspective.
Uh-huh.
I knew when I fell asleep with a drink that I had poured, and I got up and I dumped it in the sink, that wasn't important to me anymore.
Yeah. So your priorities changed.
I can take it or leave it.
Your priorities changed. I just think that that's sort of interesting. I know for all of us, we're all in recovery, and every single one of us has a friend or someone's close to them that has chosen a different path other than abstinence. And I think the best recovery is a recovery of abstinence, but also I think there's some jealousy that comes from us when I see people that can drink or smoke and like get away with it, because you know, what we're taught is like your life will immediately fall apart. So I think it's easy, like when I see like a friend of mine who's like clean for 8 years, and then I find out that they're drinking, I'm like, this guy, he's gonna be copping dope by the end of the week, and then they don't, and I'm like, wait a minute. But at the end of the day, for me, like I said, it's just a cost benefit analysis, and I choose to not drink or smoke or do anything like. I'm not going to microdose mushrooms.
Would you say that anything you do in your life is addict behavior?
Oh, the only way I was able to stop doing drugs was to take the addiction, the ritual, my autism, for lack of a better word, and put it into other things, whether it's like chess or bodybuilding or powerlifting or fast food. It has to be.
It has to go somewhere. It
relationships.
never goes away.
Yeah,
It's like matter.
Yeah,
It's
like energy can never.
It's
dissipate.
energy, not matter. Not matter.
Energy can never dissipate.
So I found this quote yesterday, and I saved it because I want to read it.
Is this from Instagram?
I did find it on Instagram. Marie-Louise von Franz.
Oh,
Like how I said that. One of the most wicked, destructive forces, psychologically speaking, is unused creative power. If someone has a creative gift and out of laziness or for some other reason doesn't use it, the psychic energy turns to sheer poison. That's why we often diagnose neuroses and psychotic diseases as not lived higher possibilities.
I like that. Yeah.
Struck home with me.
Now,
Yeah.
do you think that quote, because immediately what I thought about is I think about some of like the, I mean, musically, any type of art you're looking at. I mean, you're talking about literally some of the craziest mentally ill people in the world.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a correlate that fits into what you just read?
I think it must. I think all of us have, musically inclined or not, I think all of us have a little bug. We got that dog in them, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Like if we're not doing something,
We're doing something.
we're doing
We're destroying
something.
something. Right. If we're not creating something, we're destroying something.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah, I think that's definitely how I am. I think using drugs was also easier and less scary than taking a risk and doing something in your personal life, like opening a business or playing an instrument or being whatever, like following through with a positive outlet. Using drugs was immediate gratification. It hits the same because everybody here opens a business, and like opening a business and being moderately successful, whether it's like financial or taking a risk and it working out, is the same as getting high. Like you get that same sort of feedback. You know what I mean? It's just one will destroy you quickly, and the other one, might give you life. So,
one of the things that I just want to tag on to the previous conversation about gaining perspective. Drug addiction, alcoholism, these things are very selfish. It's all about me. Me.
How you feel?
I've been with Cassie for 5 years, and I love her.
Yeah.
Couldn't change for her.
Right.
Yeah.
I now love somebody more than myself.
Yeah.
And
The baby.
because of the baby, I have grown closer to Cassie.
Yeah.
So now I love two people more than myself.
Yeah.
And I am not what's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I am.
Yeah.
Super important.
Yeah, I think that's a really good perspective, and that can be a catalyst for change.
What is a man if not to be a father?
I'm right with you. I'm not a father yet, but even I know that. In my opinion, I don't know if all of us feel the same way, but for me, I think
I think selfishly, I don't feel that way because I'm just selfish. But when you take yourself out of it and you look, like the overall goal of life
is to give life.
Correct.
Yeah, like if you're not doing that,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't think anybody really likes to talk about that because the implications of it. But I agree that
I think if something happened, and 9 months from now a baby came, that you would have a very different tune to sing.
100%.
yeah,
I think you could be a great dad.
Well, thank you, Frank. You're the best. He's the best. He is. He really is the fucking
Yeah, that's a
best.
good word. Right now, he's working on his relationship with Jesus. So,
I'm trying.
Jesus, he is?
that's his recovery. I'll describe our recoveries: faith-based, narcissism-based, and he's just doing it because it's like he doesn't know what else. He wants so badly to be like Dreadlock Rasta
He's been doing it for so long.
that he doesn't know anything.
The
like,
reason
this
that these two are sitting here. Somebody had to come open up the door.
You ain't getting it.
I don't get high because fuck you. I'm not because nobody believed in me. You know what I mean? Like
I like
nobody
that.
ever thought I was gonna get clean. Now, so now it's like
Yeah.
fuck. Now it's just like fuck
I don't know
you.
anything. I don't know anything.
I like to
else.
say that like when I see like fucked up like junkies and shit, I'm like, just look at this fucking junk. He's like scumbag. Get your life together. And they're always like, well, you were the same way. I'm like, yeah,
Not
but I'm
no
not
more.
anymore. Like, I got clean to be able to say that.
Would you say that hanging around, obviously, with these type of people has also led you to be like they are? Your 5 closest people you hang around with are going to be what you end up being?
Oh yeah, I definitely take pieces of all the people that I spend the most time with, and my recovery wasn't in like NA and all that stuff. Like I could take it or leave it. I say it all the time whenever I talk about addiction, which I try not to do too much, but was the best thing that you can get out of like the fellowship is meeting people who are going to be clean and stay clean. And it's like maybe 1 in 100, but if you manage to get like a Justin and a John, like you're lucky because now you got lifelong friends and we're about the same shit. Like if Justin relapses, we're going to his house and we're beating him up. We're beating him up and we're taking him to rehab.
Right.
Like you're not going out like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all about the same shit. Like I hate the idea of my identity being attached to something I don't do, which is drugs and alcohol. So I don't even like think about it. But you need to meet people who feel the same way about drugs and alcohol, is that it's in the way, it's pointless, it's narcissistic, it's selfish, but there's much better things to do with your time.
What would have happened if you met 4 people, 5 people that had drinks on the weekend and said, "Hey, listen, this is like life. You can do this and just not be an asshole." You don't believe
Scott
it.
would be a
That's
No, I don't think that's true.
directly
Like,
against your beliefs.
I know.
Well, I'll give you an example. Is that when and then we'll move on to a different subject because I don't want this to be a fucking recovery corner with the underground Paramount guys.
What about the Pro Concepts guys?
And the pro concept guys. Recovery corner.
Jesus Christ.
Could you imagine?
No.
Podcast number 752.
Cut this all out.
When I got clean, I went to my first stop was not even a halfway house, but essentially a halfway house. And there was like 12 guys there. Every single one of them was using and drinking, and all of them are either dead, no exaggeration, or in some state of death, like soon to be dead or in jail. And there's a point in everybody's recovery that I think is completely alone. That you can go to whatever meetings you want, you can have a sponsor, but in the very beginning, that shit is a war in yourself, and you have to be able to just
You have to sit with the stuff that made you get high
you
and
do.
not get high
Yeah, and believe that you could get through it.
And then
until it goes away.
later on, then you're gonna have some freedom to choose who's in your life, and then that's when I think you'll be affected the most. Because if I had chosen to be very close with people that had no ambition or wanted to drink on the weekends or still use or still be in that criminal lifestyle, I think that's probably the direction I would have went.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But anyway, so let's get into like training and maybe how this sort of thing fits into addiction. I think each and every one of us probably has gotten into fitness originally, perhaps for the same reason that you got into drugs, which is to fight the demons. How did you land on strongman and not say powerlifting? Because that was a big fad when we were coming up, I think. I did the competitive powerlifting thing before I was a okay bodybuilder that didn't compete. What made you pick strongman?
I started in powerlifting. Natty. Wasn't. Lied.
Spoiler alert.
Did pro hormones.
You were competing as a natural,
I
not
only
natural?
competed one time.
What federation?
USAPL.
And you
I don't know.
and you
Whatever.
beat that?
They didn't test them.
Oh.
No. I
They
didn't
didn't
do
waste
great.
the test on you?
No.
Your
They
numbers,
just kicked me out.
yeah.
Took
No, I
one look
sucked.
at you.
Your numbers
suck.
weren't good enough to even test.
I wasn't going to do bodybuilding because it's
Go
a
ahead.
little gay.
Say it, yeah.
It's a little gay. I mean, listen, I have utmost respect
Yeah, no.
because the discipline, the hard work. I get it.
I watch it. I follow it.
I get it.
It's
I'm
gay.
just not that into myself.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't do it.
Listen, I love bodybuilding. I was into it, and I agree with you 100%. It's gay. I don't care how you cut it. It's awesome. It's cool. I like gay stuff, I guess, but it's gay.
Did you see the new class they're bringing out in Brazil?
Yeah.
Men's wellness.
Yeah, men's wellness.
Tell me you haven't seen this.
Yeah,
I
I
have
saw
not.
it. I
I
saw
Oh
don't
my
the
God,
meme.
he's wearing a
the memes are
female's
great.
bottom, and that's it.
It's not
Posing.
real. Is it
Yeah.
going to catch on?
I saw it too.
What's the... Wait,
Yeah.
he's wearing a female bikini
So basically,
bottom?
it's a gay-only class.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to be LGBT.
Well, I don't think you have to be, but you got a straight man who's going to go up there and run that.
No, I mean, I don't... Oh, okay, so wait. So what you're saying is that
You
the
know,
class
shake
is
your ass.
men's wellness, and you have to wear a female bikini bottom?
Essentially,
That's
is what it
I
looks
saw.
like.
Yeah, you have to do a tuck.
I probably saw it because it was on Frank's Instagram. That's where I saw it.
Old habits, you know.
All right, so what made you like hyper fixate on strongman?
It was just super athletic. It's one of those things, picking, moving weight. It reminded me of like construction. I came up doing a lot of construction. I was always the guy who could pick the tamper up and put it on the truck by myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The generator, you know what I mean?
Were you an athlete in high school?
Yeah.
What'd you
Football
play?
and lacrosse.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to
Wax.
say. All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had like some athletic abilities, and bodybuilding doesn't really show off the athletic type. And the reason why you didn't choose powerlifting was because you got caught and you just didn't. Did you like have a weak lift, one of those that you just didn't think you'd be good at, or you were just like, fuck it,
I didn't
wanna,
get
like,
caught.
throw stones.
You got caught. You didn't have the numbers. good
I didn't
enough
get
to
caught.
Right.
Well, no, this was way early before I really started my whole recovery journey.
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening was I was working at a retro, and I was at a retro in Jackson, and I was deadlifting, I don't know, like 700 pounds for reps or something like that. And a guy in the locker room took his shirt off and looked at me. I was like, no. But he's like, hey, I saw you deadlifting. You're pretty strong.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're pretty fit for an old guy.
He's like, you gotta put some oil on my
He
back.
goes, I'm a little lower. He said, I'm a pro strongman. I said, you're not very big. And he took offense to it because I didn't know there were weight classes.
Yeah.
He goes, no. You're going to come with me. We're going to train this weekend.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
And so I met these guys out in Hamilton, Mike Byers, Frank Cartucci, Jamie Ragazzo. The guy was Jamie Ragazzo. And that's where I started training strongman.
Yeah.
And then eventually I met our buddy Johnny. And I started training up
Johnny.
there. I know you know Johnny. And I
Mad
started
man.
training up there.
Oh, wow.
Johnny's a wild man.
Johnny's a
Alright.
madman.
So
Wild
like,
man.
I think he knows this. So.
Of course he knows.
and you're
take-
still going through this like competing phase. You're still, because how old are you, Frank? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 40 in March.
You're 40
you?
in March.
40 the end of March.
I
Wow,
thought you were
okay,
like
cool.
35.
All right, so you're 40 in March, and we're still competing.
You putting the touch of gray in your beard? Or?
No. I get this stuff from Sally Beauty. I mix that shit up. Whip it up, whip it up, whip it up.
Are you dead ass? You dye your beard?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
do too.
I'm not surprised about you, though.
You will too when it starts to turn a little grayer.
I think it looks good. I like the salt and pepper look. It's distinguished. Makes
You
you.
think that, and then when you're like, holy shit, I
Yeah.
look old.
I'm more worried about the fucking thinning on my crown.
I'll just let it go, dog. It's fine.
Stop saying
So, all right. So you're competing still in strongman, and like, does that kind of give you the same hit as like drugs and alcohol did as far as dopamine, and maybe also like the military thing that you went through? Because I know we didn't touch on that yet, but I know that you were in the military, and I know that you were active in there, kicking down doors, and I'm sure that was a hell of a dopamine rush. Does competing kind of give you that same rush? Is that why you'd like to do it? What is your reasoning? Because I mean, you're 40 years old. Like, when's the time that you're gonna like try to maybe hang it up and just
Yeah,
do your
what's
thing?
the end goal? Like, what are you
Exactly.
trying to do? You were at one point the fourth strongest man in the world in your class. Where do you go from here? You're taking a little bit of injuries. You have your own business. You got a new family. What's the motivation? What are you doing next?
I think when I'm not competitive, which is probably going to be a year or two,
Yeah,
then I might not hang that sport up entirely, but I'm not going to cut weight for it anymore.
Right.
I will not train as hard. I may compete at a heavier weight class, but what I think is more likely is I'll back off that. I'll focus more on the coaching, the online coaching, my nutrition with athletes,
sure.
and I'll meet John at his BJJ studio so he can whoop up on me.
Hey,
Well, I want my son to participate in combat sports. It's something I didn't do when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And I think it's really good for humility. I was a real cocky kid,
yeah,
but I would have got my fucking ass kicked,
yeah,
right? I think people who participate in combat sports,
Yeah.
especially like a wrestling, they aren't that way because they know at any given moment you can get your ass whipped. So it's
Yeah.
better to be kind to people.
yeah.
So I want my son to be better than me. So I want to start doing something like that so I can integrate him into it. He can see it when he's young.
Yeah.
And then move into it. And I'm not going to compete at this. I don't think it's just going to be something for me to foster a
You're talking
relationship
about
with my son.
like mixed martial arts
For sure.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. And you're
Yeah.
right about that. It should humble you.
Yeah.
I think that's sweet.
So that's the move. I think
But
it's
do you have
gonna
like a
be-
swan song? Like, do you have like a goal for the next year, where you want some personal goal that you want to do in strongman? Because that is like a cult. The strongman community is it's a tight knit people, but people really respect it, and to get the amount of people that compete and are competitive, it's not a small amount. So
I would love to win World's Strongest Man. I'd like to win America's Strongest Man. I have had the numbers in the gym that have beaten everybody else in the gym. I haven't been able to put it together on the field.
yeah,
I was looking pretty good this year. Got injured. So maybe we'll give it another shot, another year, and then we'll reassess from there.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite of all the
Deadlift,
events? Deadlift.
of course.
Don't
It's
they
the
like
most primal,
deadlift
I
like
think.
cars and shit? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do all sorts of
yeah,
stuff.
like
Deadlift.
buggies, like the little
Buggies, yes, that's what we deadlift. Victorian buggies.
What's your least favorite?
This is very un-strongman-like, but probably stones.
Stones. Yeah.
Probably stones.
Yeah, I tried the stones once. I didn't like it.
It's when you got to pick them up and put them on a platform, right?
I don't hate doing it. I hate the setup. I got to put this shit on my arms.
The
and then I got to
tacky-
clean this shit off my arms. I'm on a limited schedule here. I got to be back at work. I got clients at 2:30.
I got a
You know what I
kid.
mean?
I got a kid I got to take care of.
So obviously, these other things are starting to take precedence in my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if somebody was getting into strongman, what do you suggest? Like, what kind of training routine would you say somebody's interested? They have a general background in gym lifting. What would you say is like the most important? Because not everybody has access to the type of things that the strongman. You guys could do some silly running around shit.
Yeah.
You know?
So you got to build a cardio base first. So I would say start every session with some type of very high intensity cardio. You can use a machine, you could use a sled, you could use a combination of those.
Yeah.
And then if you train 4 days a week, I would say you work on an overhead press, a deadlift, a horizontal press, and a squat day, and accessories that go along with all of those if you don't have any other equipment.
Sure.
And then you'll progress those to be a little bit more dynamic,
Yeah.
right? Like a push press and then a push jerk, split jerk,
Yeah.
right?
So you optimize for cardio first.
Well, you have to build your base.
Yeah.
If you don't have a base, you're not going to be able to get through the next set of training, the next block of training, because there's going to be a lot of volume there.
Yeah.
Wow.
The strongman is. People don't think it's like it's.
That's terrible.
It's no joke.
It's like CrossFit on steroids.
It's exactly CrossFit on steroids.
Didn't you do CrossFit for a little bit, Frank?
I was in the military. I did CrossFit,
Right.
but not like dude CrossFit.
Just a CrossFit style training.
Well, no, I mean I followed a like CrossFit Down Under or whatever the fuck it was called, and another CrossFit Endurance, and we would just like overlap those. We overtrained ourselves to death. We underate. It was good stuff.
Typical CrossFit
Since
stuff.
you've been big and strong, have you been in a all out fist fight? When was the last time you were in an all out punch each other in the face fist fight?
Jesus, I think I was probably 20,
Yeah. Good for you.
and it wasn't a fist fight. I think.
You just knocked the kid out and left.
I think, yeah. Well, the individual was attacking my cousin as he stepped over the tongue of a truck trailer, you know, where they connect.
Yeah.
And my cousin wasn't looking. I just happened to, while they were arguing, have circled around because that's what we do for family.
Yeah.
And when he stepped towards my cousin, I just hit him.
And it was a one shot, one hitter quitter.
That was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad.
You got hurt.
I hope not.
That's like I thought you were going to
Is the
say like
statute-
last week for some reason.
Is the statute of limitations up? Did
yeah,
I get
on a simple assault? Yeah, you're good. I think.
How long does that last? Because there's another one I'm not going to talk about.
Like 7 years.
Oh, well, we're not talking about the last one then.
So it's, okay, all right, that's fair. You guys got any questions for Frank? I have a bunch, but I just want to see you touching on anything with the training. I would like to know what kind of. I know John's got a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
I hate that.
I want to get a little bit more into training. I
Let
think.
John go. I feel like John.
No, I don't. We'll just as it.
Yeah, go ahead. I feel like you guys. You feel like
He's been
you're
sit-
sitting there
he-
waiting.
he's
I'm
been
quite
sitting
like
on
a
it.
snake just waiting to attack.
Yeah.
No, I want to know. I mean, just because. I mean, I've watched you train. It's absolutely insane. I want no part of that. It's and to hear you, to say that I know the fourth strongest man in the world in his weight class.
Former.
But still, I mean, it's
Like
still-
president. You're always
It's like,
president.
yeah,
They always call you Mr.
be,
President.
you'll always be fourth to me, Frank.
He's been waiting for that.
No, it's
all
crazy.
week.
It's we talk about it like it's just something you did, you trained for and you did, but that's an insane feat. I'm kind of more curious about the being a business owner I guess, and how that changed you, because I was maybe it was just because I didn't see a lot of the behind the stuff, but it kind of just seemed like I was impressed with how difficult I know it was from what me and Justin did, and you did it on your own, and you kind of just put it together, and at no point have you ever come across as not successful. I mean, I know how smart you are. I know that I don't, you've trained me before. I as far as I know, you're an excellent trainer. I'm just the business owner aspect. Like, how has that changed you mentally?
First, let me say that I never thought I was going to do anything with my life because I was in such a bad position. And then I met Alan and Scott, and they were in the same position and were doing great. And then I came out of that coma, and you two guys, who I already knew, I knew you better than I knew Justin, had done this thing. And you were at one time in my position. So I thought, so it gave me like hope. It was like when the first guy ran a 4-minute mile. You know what I mean? So you guys are actually part of the reason that I was able to succeed, because I knew I could.
Like, these dummies can do it.
That is exactly what I thought.
Spot on.
I think it softened me. Being a business owner has softened me because I've had to adapt to a wider variety of clientele than I originally predicted. I thought I was going to be working with powerlifters and strongmen, right?
Athletes,
But that's
yeah.
okay. Listen,
Yeah.
no. The gift that we have of fitness and health, we share with everybody that we can. There's some people I won't do because it just saps the life out of me.
Yeah.
And if I want to be healthy and stay healthy mentally,
Yeah, some people.
I'm not going to put myself through that.
Yeah.
I'll find somebody else. I'll send them to Justin.
Thanks, Frank.
Well, listen. I guess I could send them to I don't know, Iron Revolution.
They don't have a
They
training.
don't have a training
Oh,
program.
okay, yeah.
Planet Fitness. I know the planet.
It's just
Just wanted to highlight that.
there's some other places that are trying to get a training program off the ground, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's not here, I would. If it's not Paramount, I would send them to you.
I appreciate that. But yeah, no. It's softened me, and it's allowed me to, again, gain perspective. I think maturing, growing older is just about experience, gaining perspective, and realizing that not any one thing means necessarily more than the other, but it's the collective.
Yeah, I agree with that. Did that answer your question adequately, John?
It did. Are we just jumping around, or
Yeah, I was good. Yeah, yeah. You have a follow up?
I mean, I do actually. I'm just talking professionally stuff. I want your opinion, because I know that we've like bantered back and forth about it a little bit, like privately in conversation. Well, I want your opinion on like the coaching space. Again, and I'm not to like fucking glaze you, but the people that I know that know what they're talking about have said that you're a very smart person, and it just seems like such a oversaturated, ridiculous market at this point. So how do you navigate that? And do you share that opinion?
Of course, I share that opinion. All of a sudden, I've done biceps twice, and now I'm going to teach you how to do it.
Yeah.
It's not about how good of a coach you are. It's how good of a marketer.
Marketing.
Cut that. It's how good you are at marketing. It's how good your reels are. It's how your exposure is.
Yeah.
That's what makes somebody worth $400, because they hit and blast a large group of people. They fool X% of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a gimmick.
It's a gimmick. I know coaches out there who are coaches that I have never met one of their athletes.
Yeah.
Never met one of their athletes. Never seen them work with an athlete. I've never met one of their athletes.
Yeah.
They post before and afters, but I've never seen these people.
Yeah. It exists completely in the online space.
Now, my online space is small compared to my one-on-one, which is fine. And I'm trying to isolate it now towards powerlifting is actually where I'm making my bones. I've got a couple of guys on the top 10 list, all-time world record holders for the deadlift. I've got one guy lifted in the animal cage at the Arnold. I got another guy going against Dan Bell in April. And I got a guy who's about to pull 1,000 pounds in in April.
Are these
in Miami.
hands-on clients?
No, these are nutrition guys.
Nutrition guys?
Now, I haven't really ventured too far into the world of programming for powerlifting because it's not my forte.
Sure.
Right.
But I can fuel you, and I can give you a protocol that will make you big and strong, and I can fucking water cut you to get to your weight. And everything we've done in the previous lead-up months will allow you to refill and replete and perform at the highest possible level after your super compensation.
Yeah. Now, do you think that your knowledge comes from like just personal experience makes you a good coach, or do you spend a lot of time? I mean, you've talked, extensively about drugs and supplements, and it's kind of like integrated in us. Like, did that just come intuitively to you? You start putting it together and trial and error, like in order for you to build out like a drug protocol and to be able to walk people through this. Is that coming from personal experience mainly, or is it coming from like books? Because I see a lot of coaches like do like the nerd stuff, like nerd out over and like, and it doesn't. It's like theory versus practice. People have never put these things into practice themselves, are just reading theory. You know.
Yeah, they'll highlight it, take an Instagram shot of it, and boom. And you'll see
especially when it
it's-
comes to like things like water cuts and shit. It's like so easy to just like read some bullshit science paper on water cuts and then think it applies to.
all
But go on, I'll
athletes.
let you answer the question. I'm sorry.
It's also kind of dangerous too if you don't know what you're doing and you're taking somebody through a water cut, isn't it?
It can be, depending on where you're at. You want to stay within 7% of body weight. But, I mean, there's definitely exceptions to that rule. MMA fighters.
You,
Yeah, well,
you've cut.
I've done 30 pounds
You,
in a week.
That's insane.
and how'd you do that? How'd you do on that show for that?
That's
Where you got the
at
fourth.
the world.
Yeah, so it's doable.
It's doable, yeah. I've done it so many times. I've got a great mentor. Andy Triana is my mentor, and we've been through a lot as far as training, nutrition, cuts, the hows and whys. And if I tried to explain to you the things that he told me, I would sound like that teacher, wah, 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 because I
Yeah.
have no fucking idea what he's saying sometimes.
Yeah,
But I can put it into practice because I understand what needs to happen. I understand where the pieces need to go. I understand what needs to be added, what needs to be subtracted. I understand what's happening in the body.
So you have a general.
I have a pretty good
knowledge of the theory, and then also you've seen it in like.
I've done it several
practice.
times. I've cut people several times. I've only had one athlete ever miss a cut, and that was on him, admittedly. I think I've done 30, 35 successful water cuts.
So this is a good question. I think uncensored, the truth. Tell me what a professional level world's strongest man cycle looks like.
That was going to be my question.
I'm sorry, I still like seriously, like the compounds, like as to the best of your. Let's do the oils first.
Steroids, like calories, milligrams aren't real. I mean, they are. You can blast somebody with 3,000 milligrams of test and 1,000 milligrams of tren, and they're going to get strong. But if you take Joe Shit the ragman off the street and put that in him, he's not going to be able to absorb it.
Yeah, you're
Just like he's not going to be able to absorb 500, 600 grams of carbs a day.
right.
We have to train our body to do this over time.
Sure.
That being said, I usually cruise like 500 milligrams of test, 400 milligrams of test, probably 400 milligrams of test. I'll just cruise. And then I'll kick up to 500, 120. I like to run the third to the, somewhere around there, the third to a half. For that show, let's see. I was running 750 test, 350 Masteron, and 150 DHB with not daily, but Anavar and Anadrol sprinkled in, GH, insulin, and other compounds as well. The week of, we changed the protocol a little bit so that I'm not. So when you inject steroids, you have an immune response, and when you're weight cutting, that's a bad thing,
Right.
right? We don't want that immune response. So the week of, we will change the way we apply those drugs.
Sure.
Maybe we'll front load them. Maybe we'll double the dose. Maybe we'll 1.5 the dose a couple days out because a little saturation.
So you're not
and then a
injecting
peak.
closer to
Right. There's a couple different ways to do it, depending on the situation. And then we will we have a specific refeed protocol that I'm not going to get into now, but you can find me online.
I don't want to give everything away for free.
No, I can't. But there's And that's just where I was at that point,
Yeah.
right? I might not use that much this time,
Yeah. Or you might use more.
or I might use more.
Yeah.
My goal is to get as healthy as I can so I can run as much as I can. You asked before about what it's like if I get the hit. I think it was Justin. Do you get a hit? Yeah, I get a hit. I'm on 2 grams of man,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right? I boofed a bottle of test. And I am around other dudes who stink like testosterone. The only thing there is lions gnashing their teeth. I know that sounds so fucking gay.
Yeah.
But it's such a high.
There's 2 wolves inside of you.
Just it's such a high that post-comp blues, post-comp depression is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though we know I'm going to come back, I'm going to pin 400 tests the next week because I don't want
Yeah. You
to
don't
keep with those high doses. But we know for a month, 2 months, 6 weeks, whatever it's going to be, that my levels are just going to gradually decrease, right?
Yeah.
But that post-comp blues, man, when that adrenaline wears off, a lot of guys, and I've talked to top-level guys, like World's Strongest Man level guys, they live for a month in the bottle after that.
Yeah. It's like postpartum depression.
My new thing is after comp, I start something new. Last time it was kickboxing.
Yeah. You're throwing those legs around?
Yeah.
That's
CKO
dangerous.
is awesome, dude.
That's dangerous.
CKO is fire.
Wait, I noticed in that whole little stack, you didn't say anything about AIs or anything. Do you take any sort of estrogen control during that?
No, not unless I absolutely need it. Estrogen is heart protective, cardio protective.
Yeah.
He's taking a lot of
Sex
master
drive
on.
protective. Yeah. Why would you take a master on just out of curiosity from a strength point of view?
Well, I like DHTs quite a bit. I can't.
Yeah, me too.
I can't handle Trenbolone anymore.
Me too.
Messes with my gut for no other reason, Scott.
Doesn't mess with my gut.
I know what it messes with. You sick fuck. But my favorite's Primo, just to run on. I just like the feel of Primo. I like the look on Primo. I like the strength on Primo.
Do you think anybody has real primo?
I don't know enough about it. I think that there's a difference when
What
I
is
run
it then?
the
If it's not
Primo.
real primo.
Mastron.
There's well, the place I got it from, it tested out with the reagent.
How rare do you think real primo is? When everybody I meet lately is like, I'm on primo. I'm like, are you? Are you sure?
I have no
Are you
idea.
sure?
Let's test it. Take their blood next time.
Let's
I had
see.
a guy at competition. He always would say, I'm natty. Yeah, but he's like beating me at these competitions. I told him, I've got a pen right here. I'm going to pull your blood. We'll see how natty you are, motherfucker.
He refused.
But
Now,
Masteron gives you good contractile strength.
Okay.
It helps you get contract your muscles, my muscle connection.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I don't know if you said this already, but when you're competing, like for example, the one that you took 4th place in, are you at the point where you're doing your own protocols and diets leading up to in your prep, or you have somebody doing that for you?
So for the majority of that particular prep, I did my own programming. But then I had somebody else do my nutrition, and it was my mentor who was doing my nutrition, helping me with my nutrition. And towards the end, he like helped me peak a little bit with the programming. But now I kind of lay out what I want to do, and he kind of like puts me in the right direction.
Yeah.
He's not programming me, but he's putting me in the right direction. You know
He's
what I
like
mean?
another set of eyes, and
A little more than that, I would say. He's got some pretty interesting things that you might not see other people do.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So you'll hit a cycle like that. I mean, how do you think that stacks up to other competitors? I mean, I think because with bodybuilding, I feel like every single pro bodybuilder stack is generally the same. I mean, we're talking about test primo, masteron, GH, insulin, maybe even a little crazy like NPP, Anavar. There's probably 6 or 7 compounds at least in every pro bodybuilder's competition 8 weeks out stack.
I think it depends on the need.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine a guy like Chris Bumstead probably doesn't need
MPP.
NPP, or probably doesn't need. But most guys on the come up.
He probably switches from Primo to Masteron.
Yeah,
And then towards the end drops the test. We know this.
yeah.
Adds in Tren. He might have Tren in for 8 weeks. Who knows, depending on where he's at.
Yeah, but he's already got the work. He's put the work in. He's got the physique where he doesn't need to be blasting probably 3 grams.
I mean, he's all right.
I think Chris Bumstead's the GOAT.
He's all right.
Wait, who's better? Who do you like better? Who's your favorite bodybuilder?
That was a satire, dude. He's the best that's ever done it.
No, I'm saying, who's your favorite bodybuilder?
Franco Colombo.
I don't know, who?
Franco Columbo.
That's
Like
the
Arnold
old-
Schwarzenegger's Franco Columbo.
Yeah, like this
Oh,
partner. Like,
Who's your
of
favorite?
course, he picks the Gins alone.
Right, yeah.
What about bodybuilding is gay? Did you not hear?
It doesn't mean
I
that you
don't follow
like
it. No,
Not at
I'm
all.
telling you, I don't follow it.
None of it.
I can't.
Do you work with bodybuilders?
No.
Really? So if a bodybuilder came to you and they're like, Frank, I want to.
By choice or
Seems pretty
by honest-
discriminatory.
By honesty, I can get you if you've never lifted a weight and you want a base
Yeah.
to work with me. I
It's
can
not your
get,
specialty.
I can get you in shape, but I'm not taking you to stage. I wouldn't
No, it's
attempt
you-
to
Yeah.
put somebody through something that I've never been through.
Yeah.
You like eat cod and vegetables. Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not my thing, dude.
Well, that's pretty interesting. I think. Has your I've known you for a long time, and me and you kind of came up when you knew me when I was bodybuilding, and probably 95% of our conversations were about steroids. I mean, you know how it is.
Well, you're very, very knowledgeable on that, and it was something that, as soon as I took my first shot at test, I did not get it around here, by the way. As soon as I took my first shot at test, I was like kind of hooked because it was a needle. But about a month later,
So sick.
Fucking.
yeah. Listen, well, I was a needle guy,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to pull no punches. That's what it was. I was
don't
like,
get it.
sweet, I
That's
get
what
to
we're
do
here
this
for.
thing. I was in a halfway house or a sober living where I was not supposed to have needles. I was sticking myself. It was great.
Yeah. You're like, fuck them.
But a month later, when my test levels got to where they should be as a man, I was like, oh my God, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Started fucking getting pussy. It was nice.
Yeah.
Messed up, went out. But that's not
Fuck.
but I think, what was the question?
What was the question? I said, okay, so has your feelings about steroid abuse, has your feeling on steroids changed at all throughout the years? Because I just give the reason why I'm asking that is because back in the day, like I said, when I was playing fast and loose with gear, and I was taking a lot of stuff, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But now my feelings on steroids have changed significantly. I think that they're far more dangerous than people like to pretend. That, I think they're more dangerous than people in our industry like to admit. And I think that the wrong people take a lot of stuff that they could probably do without because of the memes, because of the memes, bro.
Experience, knowledge, and having somebody with those things advise you on what to do trump everything else. There's a hierarchy of performance-enhancing drugs. They are sleep, food,
Yeah.
training.
Genetics.
Genetics are way up there. And steroids are at the bottom of the list. They're right there.
Yeah. It's a tool in the toolbox.
So that being said, I think they're very dangerous when used the way I use them at 3 grams a week when I first started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on the other side of that coin, I think every man over 40 needs to be on it. I think that's one of the reasons our country's falling down, because we are soft fucking cunts.
We're chemically castrated.
We are chemically castrated by the food we eat, by the shit we see on TV and on Instagram and everywhere else. They are cutting our balls off. And I get guys who show me their blood work, 296, 175, 396. I'm like, bro, that's low end of normal. You need to.
And
Go
they're
to a
saying their
doctor.
primary doctors are like, no, you don't need testosterone.
you're fine,
You're
yeah.
fine.
But why? Because higher testosterone levels will mute some of the ailments that they can get paid for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about that.
Testosterone, I say this to guys who come into the store all the time, especially when they're looking for test boosters and they're like, late 30s, 40s. I'm like, dude, don't even just go get blood work done for everything that you're telling me is wrong, from ED to like no energy,
Yep.
to not being able to catch a pump,
To immune system shit.
depression. 200 milligrams of testosterone,
Will
if
change
you are low,
everything.
will change your life. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many guys have come back to my store like,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
And their shoulders are looking a little big.
Yeah. The traps
well,
are
it's
the
because
first.
they're walking taller.
Yeah. Traps are the first thing they say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is true.
It's crazy. And I think it's part of the demonization of it. Is it makes men a little toxic. It's absolutely a little toxic.
I think the only people who use that toxic word are little bitches.
Well, I'm saying it because there is. The word toxic masculinity, as as stupid as it is, I mean, it's founded in some truth. There is some toxic qualities of like unfettered masculinity, you know.
Yeah.
At least like with the alpha male version of
Testosterone
No,
filled
the
men.
false bravado male version of it. We need more real fucking men.
Oh, I agree. I mean,
You're not wrong about that. I think
It's the
Scott
false
was talking
bravado,
about
like the guys who peacock and stuff their chest out, trying to fucking show off. The incels who make a show of themselves to try to be better than everybody else because inside they are not.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it. I mean, I think there's definitely a plague of soy boy.
Yeah, it's in everything. It's in our dish. It's in our fucking clothing detergent, whatever the fuck. The soap we use, fucking everything.
The vaccines.
You see the Cheerios thing?
The what?
The Cheerios thing?
The study that showed. I saw Lane Norton beating his chest about how cornflakes aren't. That's not like.
He's going.
He's
losing his.
naysayer.
Yeah, he's losing
He
his
sucks.
mind on Twitter.
He's
bro.
always been a little nerd. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, he's just a big studies guy, and he always
he always
fights
wants
back.
to shoot somebody down.
He's always shooting back the carnivore guys.
But yeah, he put down the study. I saw this Cheerios, cornflakes was like basically chemically castrating people.
yeah, and he's just like, "You're an idiot.
You're so stupid if
Yeah.
you think that they did that." And I was
He's
like,
a little bit of a cuck.
Well, it's also very different if you have a 7-year-old boy who's eating cereal 3 times a day versus you eating cereal pre or post workout.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It is
We love
situation
cereal
to
post-workout.
situation dependent.
Cereal post workout is the fucking truth.
that used to get me through my dieting was my post-workout rice checks.
Yeah.
Muffins pre.
I mean, I don't know where we're at as far as time, and I don't really have a question anymore because Scott stole mine.
That was your one question.
I mean,
I'll
I'll probably could think of some other ones, but I don't even know if they're appropriate for this podcast. But I mean, the only thing I'll say, Frank, is that like I didn't know you, like you said, too well before Paramount opened up, but hearing your story when you came in and seeing how you were when you first came in, you know, fast forward to now and like the complete 180 that you've done, you know, as far as like turning your life around, opening up a business and, you know, having a family. Like, I mean, when I say, like, I talk about you on this podcast a couple times, I always say, I'm like, I love that kid. And I mean, I'm just like super proud of you, dude, because I know it wasn't easy. And I know, like, I don't mean to get all like sappy or whatnot, but like, I'm proud of you, bro. You came a long way, dude, because you were a fucking wreck when I first met you.
Thank
There,
you.
there was
Thank
a
you.
point. There was a point when you were in the coma, and I mean, you know me. I think I'm a little rough around the edges when it comes to like the sympathy thing.
Bedside manner.
Yeah. But I was like, he's done for.
Right. He ain't making
This
it.
is this. He did it. This
Oh, I
time.
remember having conversations with Scott and being like, Frank's going to die.
Yeah. John was like,
Frank's
So
going to die.
I'm like, what a waste.
John would tell me, like, yo, if Frank comes in, like, just keep an eye on him. Like, don't let him behind the counter. Fucking, you know, like.
I wasn't stealing. I was drinking.
No, yeah.
No, I'm just teasing.
No, it's like I said, man. It was. It was. I mean, you could use words like heartbreaking, uncomfortable. You know, when you came in to sign up that day, and like I hadn't seen you in a long time, and the image that I had of you in my mind that I've known for years, and you just looked defeated, and I think you were, and you accepted it, and you know, and
Use
came
it as
back
fuel.
20 times better. But I mean, I guess if we are running out of time, I'm not sure.
I
It
don't know.
says.
I mean, why not? So
No, I'm
we're
just.
still good. We got another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
Wow.
Frank,
It's fast.
a word that comes to mind when somebody brings you up is divisive. So, for somebody that spends a decent amount of time on social media, I get to see everything that you post. Sometimes I give you a hard time just for fun. I don't even disagree with you, but I'll bicker with you. But you're a divisive guy. I don't really think that there's anybody that knows you that doesn't have a strong opinion, good or bad. Mine is strong in the good way. The people that would have a strong opinion in the negative way, I would encourage them to get to know you on a personal level. But I don't think there's anybody that's crossed your path that doesn't have an opinion about you.
That's a good thing.
So it's a great thing. And the one thing that I'll say, and I remember saying this about Scott a long time ago when he asked me to give him his coin at a meeting once. And I think you share that positive character trait in the fact that regardless of who you are, you're that person in every room you're in. For all the faults that
for
you may
better or
have,
for worse.
Yeah.
that you bring it to every room.
Yeah.
And that's not something that you could say about the majority of the people that would talk down on you.
It's a real thing. You know?
Super
Yeah.
authenticity.
But I
Wait, so
want to
when
know
you
what
say
makes
devices,
you mad.
What do you mean?
I want to know what makes them mad. I want to know what makes. I want to know what are you mad about right now? Like in the fitness industry.
Yeah, tell me
if
some,
you want
like,
to touch
pet
on
peeves.
politics, I would encourage you to do it lightly. But just anything, pop culture, fitness. What are you mad about? See if I could disagree with you on something.
What's getting under your skin?
I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with him on everything, but you're just going to be like, why are you talking about it? Like,
Well,
why are you putting it on
the main-
Instagram?
Who cares, Frank?
there's a couple things. Fitness, and then we can do the entertainment industry. But fitness is, and I don't even know if it's what I see on Instagram. I think it is what I hear from people who aren't in the know, how far back they are with the like we don't need carbohydrates thing. They're afraid to eat. I have people coming to me who are eating 1,100 calories,
Right.
and they're telling me they want to lose weight. They want to go on a diet.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, well, maybe just eat fucking cardboard.
Yeah.
Maybe do nothing. Maybe don't eat at all.
Just die.
But then when I say we have to eat a little,
Ozempic.
we have to eat a little bit more. Oh my God, they'll die. When I say we have to eat a little bit more, obviously you guys know why, and these people mostly know why, to build up metabolism, and right. They lose their mind. I don't want to see the scale go up. So like, that is one of my pet peeves. Like we all say that we want to do this thing, but when rubber meets the road, really we just like the idea of doing it. You know,
Yeah.
they just like the idea of
So
losing
are
weight.
you? How do you feel about high fat, high protein, no carbohydrate diets?
They have their place. Everything has its place.
How do you feel about ice baths, like incessant, everyday Instagram ice baths?
I think it depends on who you are, but there's a lot of people where ice baths are traumatic. That is a trauma to your body.
Yeah.
It is.
That is
It
a
is.
trauma to your body. You can't do that 7 days a week and not have some type of negative feedback loop unless you're Joe Rogan. And I think that there's probably some days where he doesn't do it
Sure.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that has its place. Cryo has its place. Sauna has its place.
What do you feel about red light therapy?
Has its place. We put red light therapy on my father's leg. He had his knee replaced, and they had to cut him open a second time or a third time. We put red light therapy and growth hormone.
Yeah,
Because he had an infection. The wound was closing so fast that we had to stop all of it.
really.
Yeah. That we
You
had to
think that was
stop
the
all
growth
of it.
hormone or the red light?
I think it was both. It was
was
generic growth hormone.
Number one.
Chinese.
Yeah.
It's Chinese.
It might have been HCG for all. we
Quick
know.
He
question.
was hard all the time.
Fast answer. Best supplement out there.
Go
Sleep.
to sleep.
Creatine.
Creatine, exact. There it is. I knew
Definitely
it was-
creatine.
Creatine. It's the most. It's
And it's
100%.
versatile. Versatile. Works on
Sleep.
sleep, works on your brain.
Yep.
People who are
Cognitive thinking.
65 need creatine.
Yeah.
We need to take it. ATP is God.
Yeah. Yeah. It would
ATP
either be
is God.
creatine or fish oil for me.
I'm gonna
Do
make a
something without
t-shirt.
ATP right
I'm
now.
going to make a T-shirt that says ATP is
ATP is
God.
God.
Do something without it.
I think it's 50 cent. Put that in the.
What do you think about the seed oil, anti-seed oil craze?
Moderation, man. Everything is in moderation. Like, I don't want you to, obviously you could pick.
Drink canola oil.
Yeah, we're not going to drink canola oil. I understand that it's not the cleanest stuff, but like if you're going to have a cookie on a Friday night that's got vegetable oil or shortening in it, fucking eat your cookie and shut up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? If you're doing all the other things right, then you can afford it. If you're eating pizza and Wendy's every single day, Dunkin' Donuts, we might
John's
want to
over there
stay away.
fucking
Did you just point to
in
me?
heaven.
Not me.
Oh,
What do you think about the electrolyte craze?
Love it.
Love it.
Love it. More electrolytes for everybody.
What's your 3 go-to supplements you're taking, whether you're about to be medically induced, put in a medically induced coma, or you're about to compete at World's Strongest Man?
Jim Beam.
3 top supplements, like no matter what, you're taking it.
Definitely the past 2 we spoke about. Creatine. Probably creatine, astragalus, and
Astragalus.
Astragalus.
astragalus is money.
I
Wow.
wouldn't have guessed
I
that.
didn't think that was coming. I thought maybe fish oil.
I like astragalus. It works on overall immune function. Fish oil's nice.
I think fish
It's
oil.
good, but you can get some of that through
yeah, that's
salmon throughout the week.
Yeah, that's true.
Astragalus is tough to come by.
Vitamin D.
Of course, vitamin D.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many that could have gone on the list. That's just
I
the
know.
first one that came up.
Yeah.
You're about to be banned for life from ever lifting again. You have 1 2-hour training session. What are you training?
I'm teaching my son how to deadlift.
That is fucking.
Conventional or sumo?
That's not even a question. He's not going to answer that.
Sumo isn't a deadlift.
There it is, bro.
It's not the same lift.
Yeah, it
now
should
I
be
understand that
separated.
it's acceptable, and I have
Separated.
athletes that are very good at it,
Yeah.
but it is not the same lift.
I like these questions. They're fun.
Favorite gym to train at? Better cover that microphone because I heard something. Favorite gym to train at? And obviously, it doesn't have to be Paramount. You could be totally 100%.
What breed of dog
trained.
is most likely to?
Jesus fucking Christ! Oh my goodness! They're a small percentage of the dog population.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a pit bull cane corso mix. His name is Steel. He's got gray eyes.
He sleeps with your baby.
He's great.
He's great with the baby.
He's
right?
great with the baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you ever read that Stephen King story?
Cujo. That was the
No,
first
see,
book I ever read.
It's the other one.
You read Cujo?
I read Cujo.
I read it.
Ooh, that was
It
really good.
Fucking crazy.
I read The Dark Tower.
He didn't answer my question yet.
What was
Oh,
the question?
Favorite gym to train at?
In the world,
I was going to say in New Jersey.
that's not Paramount.
I like Paramount. I like Paramount a lot. When I'm in my certain phases for volume and a lot of weight training, I go to Paramount quite a bit. There is another gym that's nearby that I go to when I need a larger space to do my bigger moving athlete stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Revolution,
No,
No. The newer one.
no,
Iron Culture.
Pit?
no.
Pit.
Arc.
Oh, yeah, the newer
Oh,
one.
Arc. Yeah.
It's not that new.
I thought
They
it was new.
they used to be called hit
I
training.
heard this. I heard this is a nice gym. It's a little more like. Isn't it more like close knit? Let's say a little like personal gym.
It's massive.
Oh,
It's just unknown.
I've
Their
never been.
marketing isn't great.
I think that's by design though. From what I understand.
Who would own a gym and want
Look, I don't.
not
I
be
want.
known.
I want
To
to
not be
Finish
known.
that question.
To not be
Finish
known.
that question because I got a couple responses.
Who would open a gym to not be known?
right?
John.
Oh, I don't know. I was just.
No.
What were you going to say,
was
bro?
gonna say.
No.
Yeah, come on.
Who would open a gym to not make any money?
Who would open a gym to not be successful?
If I make a YouTube channel with everything I ate in a day, can I be a coach?
You have to do two.
Two
You have to do
videos.
one booty training session too.
That's
Okay.
right. With bands.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Who's your favorite like fitness influencer? Who you watching? I know you're watching stuff. Who you like right now? Who you got mad respect for?
My favorite, probably ever, Stan Efferding. Have you heard about the vertical diet?
I like how he tried to tell me that growth hormone would make my dick bigger.
Doesn't work.
You got to put it right in the tip.
I
I've been
can't.
doing it for a while. I've got like 2.5 centimeters. It's great. I think it's just the
Damn.
swelling.
I think it's just
Yeah,
It's better than, it's better than my.
It's red
my
as
friend
hell.
who did jelking.
I don't want to know what that is.
I finally cornered him. I'm like, is it true that you tried jelking? He's like, yeah.
What's
I
joking?
told you.
Jelking is this. It's like a kung fu method. It is an aggressive physical method of making your penis larger.
Oh, pushing blood into the end?
Yeah, but it's like there's like a contraption.
Yeah, you got to hook
There's
up
a
a
contraption.
contraption to it
Sleeping
while
with
you
it.
sleep, and
Like
you're
you-
sleeping with it, our friend.
Imagine taking like a silly putty and just stretching it out.
Yeah.
You know?
It
And
worked.
He said he put, I said, forget what he said.
Half
he said
an inch or-
half an inch on there.
Yeah.
I'll keep the.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing all that.
Highly
but it's still,
respected. Highly
it's
respected kid.
still really funny to think about him putting a fucking thing on before he goes to bed.
Androgens absolutely work. So does heavy use of DHTs.
You
run
K2, D3. There's a good study on that.
You said
For real?
15,000 IU.
Yeah, but that was for. I mean, you'd have to imagine if it works in the higher doses, it would work in the lower doses.
No, you don't.
I mean, that's what I said to myself.
Yeah, but no, you don't have to imagine that. You're
And
lying
that's
to
what
yourself.
I don't tell people that when people come in and they're like, "Do you have K2, D3?" I says, "Yes, I do." And guess what? It's gonna maybe make your dick bigger. And they're like, "What? Give me 2."
You should get those glitter dicks and put them around the K2
What is a
D3
glitter
display.
dick?
You know, like I
That
can
sounds
send
like a-
John or Justin an envelope that explodes with glitter dicks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So wait. So who do you like? You like?
I like Stan Efferding. Let's see who else.
Who do you hate?
I like MST Systems. I like watching the Go Superbrain stuff.
Yeah. Who do you fucking hate? Who do you think's a piece of garbage that nobody should listen to? Is stupid and is famous. Nobody gets under your skin. Just like no one.
I usually unfollow. If it's not worth my time. I know everybody's got their own niche, and I'm not going to come out here and step on anybody's dick because everybody's trying to do their own thing, carve their own way in this fucking in this mountain of
Saturated.
Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're, you got guys who beat their head against walls and get fucking amped up like they're on methyltren for every single lift that they post, and
that sucks.
that's cool, rock and roll. I mean, that's your thing. You have an audience that's going to like that. I think it's overdone. Some of these people are stronger than me. Some are not.
Most are not.
I don't know. Nobody really pisses me off.
What's your favorite conspiracy theory right now?
Ooh.
Antarctica.
Flat Earth.
Tartarians.
Tartarians.
Okay, so the flat Earth thing. How do you see so far away? How can you zoom in a telescope if the Earth drops off and see that thing?
Look.
That's one. So the other one is this. I think it's very convenient. Just a touch of the tism. I think it's
so far.
very
Earth is flat.
I think it's very convenient that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it's
What do you
very
think about that?
convenient.
In the last second.
I think it's very convenient that he pushed the vaccine. I think it's very convenient that they're together because I don't know if I would ever want to go home and try to fuck a 2x4.
Yeah. She is definitely
Somebody posted a picture of her from behind and said,
gotta-
imagine winning the Super Bowl and having to go home and clap
Go
that.
and clap that, yeah. And you got to see his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend is fucking ridiculous. Beautiful.
We probably just turned off a lot of Swifties.
My favorite
Not for you.
is whenever Taylor Swift needs to get a drink out of the fridge and it's like somebody flying an airplane.
Oh my God.
those memes are fucking
Did
awesome.
you watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Well, I was on my phone most of the time. I watched it for the halftime show.
What'd you think of Usher?
I was hoping Justin Bieber came out.
Okay.
What was that?
The Biebs.
I'm a believer.
I didn't know one song except for the last one.
That's
when,
kind of crazy. 'cause
Lil Wayne came
He's got
out.
so many hits.
That was
Lil
Lil Jon.
Wayne was
that
not
was
there.
Lil Jon, not Lil Wayne.
I think Little John was cool. I think Ludacris was even cooler. But I also think there's a severe agenda going on.
Oh, I mean,
Well, Ludacris is in the
got,
Illuminati.
yeah, he got called out by
Confirmed.
Cat.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
That's why he cut his dreads and got 200 milli
for the fucking
for the fucking
for
Fast
the-
and the Furious.
for being such a good actor.
Now
Yeah.
he has his
Toilet
dreads
bowl.
hung up in the Freemason fucking
He had to
hall.
wear a dress, and they got there's a picture
Yeah,
of him
and they
wearing a
fuck him in the
dress.
ass.
yeah.
Favorite conspiracy? I thought you were gonna go like Las Vegas shooter.
Las Vegas shooter.
Well,
that's
that
been
one's
big in the news.
ridiculous.
Well, listen, you listen to the video. That's two.
That one's back in the news?
That is two
It's
machine
starting to come
guns.
Yeah, it's
back.
coming back.
making its way back.
Because I think maybe it was the
the
year anniversary.
Yep.
It was two machine guns.
Well, they're saying that's
sure.
the Echo.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah,
Echo.
the Echo. Yeah. Echo
I've
these
heard.
nuts.
Listen,
I have been there for two machine guns.
he carried
All those fucking.
he carried 900 pounds of equipment
He was 78 years old.
in the most videoed spot in the entire world, a Las Vegas casino.
Yeah.
Took out the non-removable window,
Mm-hmm.
and he shot that gun with a bump stock,
Hmm.
and he killed all those people.
Okay, here's one
And
for
it
you.
disappeared.
I got one for you. Remember the Buffalo shooter, the white supremacist shooter who went into the black store in Buffalo?
The
Yeah.
supermarket.
Yeah,
The supermarket?
Yeah.
Well, he was in the same Discord with the Uvalde shooter.
Yeah.
And apparently
They
That-
were in the same Discord.
there was a security guard working there
Okay.
who was an ex-cop, a black gentleman, and he had a patent in for a water-powered engine, a water-powered vehicle engine.
I feel like I've heard they were about to change the automotive industry death thing a lot. I can't navigate I think the government is so good at propaganda now that they have these things like Alex Jones.
He's wonderful.
He's hilarious.
Turn of
but
the Frog's gay.
But he's done more damage
Yeah.
to the conspiracy theory whole genre than anybody, because he got sued into oblivion for the Sandy Hook thing, and then he, his delivery on the frogs is gay, which is totally true, completely true,
Completely
provable,
true. Provable.
but it's still it's just the method in which it's delivered is so. He seems like such a crazy idiot that it completely undermines any credibility.
Killed some
It
credibility.
almost seems like he's a prop.
Yeah. I mean, he supports Israel a lot, so I sincerely doubt that he's a prop. But, there's something going on there. That's
Right.
all I'll say about that. So
What
what's
about-
your favorite conspiracy theory? Like, is there anything that you get into? Like, are you down the rabbit hole on lately?
I'm not digging too much. I used to look a little bit, and I found that it did not profit me a thing. It just took up time that I could be spending doing other
It
things.
just
that
makes
were-
you mad.
Yeah, it makes you upset.
Yeah.
Well,
hate
Columbine
watching
thing
stuff.
came
You
out.
know, listen,
Oh, Columbine thing.
because we watch something
Did you?
that
wild.
that we see, and how do we know what's disinformation?
Yeah.
You know what I
that's
mean?
what I mean. I think
They
that's-
lied about the
It's hard.
COVID deaths. They lied about this. So how do we know that what we're getting is not bullshit too?
Yeah.
But how
Did you-
about that mood landing?
Did you watch the Tucker Carlson Putin interview?
I saw part of it. I
watched
saw
the
the memes.
whole autistic thing. I watched every minute of it.
He knows about Tartaria.
Putin
He knows
was
about Tartaria.
hilarious. He said, "I'm going to need just 30 seconds to a minute of your time to explain to you." And then he started off with like the Big Bang Theory to get into the formation of the Ukraine.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was honestly brilliant. And then I really enjoyed Tucker Carlson walking around Russia. Like,
Going
this
to
is a real
convenience
place.
stores,
Can you
yeah.
believe that you can
Yeah.
buy a cheeseburger
Look
here?
at the produce in Russia.
And then
It's so good.
he buys all this food. He's like, "How much do you think this is going to cost? This would cost $600 in America. Here it costs $100."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look how nice their subway is. This is a country at war."
Meanwhile,
And
they're
like-
getting fucking slaughtered there. Like literally, I saw a video yesterday of just like them getting mollywopped by whatever KGB fucking.
by American drones. I've been really enjoying the Putin Tucker stuff lately.
I think my favorite conspiracy is that we think that the government taxes us 30% on everything we make and then sends that money to help people overseas when we have plenty of people who need help here. Oh, that's not a
That's not a
conspiracy theory.
conspiracy
That's
theory.
a real fucking
Truth.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
what really happens in real life.
I saw you post something about that the other day. I was
Bro, are
like,
you
yeah,
kidding?
bravo, dude.
Are you kidding? Like, I try to stay out of it because I got a business to run. Listen, I love everybody until you give me a hard fucking time. But I can't.
Bring
I
that
can't.
smoke about veterans not getting money.
This is what I wish people would do. You know how like there's a certain political ideology that goes after the people on the right and says that you are attacking my right to live and exist, and it's almost as if you're Republican or have right-wing views, they talk to you and treat you as if you're murdering them in real time.
Yeah.
What I would just like is for there to be a paradigm shift of the right wing going, "You are stealing money from me every day. Every day you are breaking into my house and stealing from me, and treat everyone who votes to steal money from me as a thief and like beat them up on sight." That, I mean, in metaphorically.
You're genociding them right now.
But I'm
He's
just
talking
saying,
about a self-defense situation.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying you
if they
put me,
attacked him first.
if somebody attacked me first with those beliefs, I would be able to then defend myself
And beat them to
and be
oblivion.
in an imagination.
Nobody is going to attack you with those beliefs because when it comes to real life, they'll just be nice as pie.
Oh yeah,
We've discussed this several times. That's why nothing ever happens when you're there.
But no matter who you vote for, you probably still take protein, and I would like you to still shop at my store.
Yeah, come work out at Paramount. That'd be great.
Right.
Or sign up at Pro Concepts.
Please stop voting to steal my fucking money.
Great.
What
All
about
right.
the aliens in Miami? Were you marked safe from that?
I don't
Are they
know
gonna
what
make
that
their
was.
way up to fucking
didn't
New
know
Jersey?
about that?
John.
What gets to me is all the videos we see of that stuff. While I have a great imagination, all the videos we see of that stuff look like they're taken with my Nokia brick phone from when
Yeah.
I was in high school.
Yeah, they were all a little blurry.
Right. So
Did you remember the lady on the plane?
John, this fucking girl.
Stop.
Did you
she
see-
was doing this. Half of it.
Did you see? Did you see the Taylor Swift AI porn?
No,
he was too
but
busy
give me
looking
the
at Drake.
site so that I can avoid it at all costs.
He was too busy looking at Drake's wang.
Did you see?
I didn't see Drake's dick,
I didn't
man.
see it either,
Dude,
I really have no desire to see
supposedly
his
he's-
dick.
He's
Supposedly,
supposedly he's
Did you see
packing. This is
I've seen the memes. I've seen the memes on it. Did you actually see it?
no. He took it
Put
down
that
from
dick by your
Twitter in a
mouth.
heartbeat.
He definitely leaked that himself.
Of course.
Who would be mad about that?
Seriously, I would leak it too.
But he's Drake.
All men are not created equal.
Well, God bless him.
All right, we've been going a while.
He's
got
got
this-
somewhere.
I don't.
Justin's got somewhere to
I
be.
have nowhere to go.
So I don't. Do you guys think this was good? I think this was fun.
I think it was fun. I
Frank
think we
is
really
great.
took off in the last 20 minutes.
Which
Yeah.
this is
It's
went
always
right
the,
into
the
it.
last 20 is always the best.
Yeah, I wonder how.
Wait, oh, you know the best conspiracy stuff? Have you seen any of the AIDS stuff? Have you guys seen this?
No, but it's
No,
all
I
out.
have
I know
not.
exactly what you're talking about. That is
Bro,
not what's
AIDS
actually.
is a lie.
It's actually not what's causing the thing.
AIDS does not cause HIV. This is insane.
Hold
This
on,
is not
HIV
mean
doesn't
HIV
cause
doesn't cause AIDS?
That's correct.
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't cause the symptoms that we call AIDS,
Yeah.
right?
What does he die from?
So what people are talking about is it's actually drugs, club drugs, lots of use of drugs, and your body actually
Poppers.
breaking down.
Poppers and amyl nitrate.
Really?
What they said that raises the no, come on. I wish I had the paper in front of me, but that raises your ammonia levels in your blood or something like that, and that was causing these people who were exposed to HIV and AIDS for them to have the type of responses like that quick death where they were calling it basically gay cancer because these guys were getting it and dying within a couple months. Was that there was these club drugs that they were using was creating
Sure.
an environment that was just tearing them to pieces,
Wow.
and that we were completely lied to. That they actually don't have any real evidence to suggest that one causes the other. This was talked about a little bit on Rogan, and then I
Brett
saw
Weinstein. I just heard it today.
the Brett Weinstein, and then somebody had done a whole thread with scientific, and people were mad.
their
Well,
mind,
AZT.
Losing their minds.
AZT. They're calling COVID the second wave of AIDS because AZT they were giving out AZT as a treatment to AIDS or HIV rather, and it was killing people
and that was
faster.
killing people faster.
And then what happened now is during the first wave of COVID, they started using remdesivir, something that had been used countless times in Africa and was
which was-
proven to destroy your
to
intestines.
kill people.
And then you couldn't breathe, so they put you on a ventilator, and that was a fucking wrap.
So there's a good. They're saying the suggestion is there's a good chance that the treatment early on for vid was killing people like in mass,
Yeah,
and that the same situation. And you know who was behind both things?
same guy.
His name is Fauci.
If we're not here next week, you know why?
That's so serious. So I don't have any evidence.
AZT was the Dallas Buyers Club thing, right?
Yeah,
Is that what he was selling?
Well, he was also doing. What was he doing? Peptide T. Is that TB 500?
Yeah, maybe it's good. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Peptide T, TB 500, thymosin beta 4 is probably what it was. Peptide T.
And I don't know anything about any of this stuff really. I just regurgitate stuff that I see and I like. I'm like, I like what this guy's
yeah,
saying.
we should hit
That's
this
probably
with a,
true.
we are not medical doctors.
Yeah.
I'm not a medical
Disclaimer
doctor.
on the
I have
bottom.
no idea what I'm
Please
talking
don't
about.
come and kill us.
I don't care about any of this.
You were just dudes bullshitting.
That's all. That's pretty insane, though. I need this.
Yeah, I'll send you the thread.
Please do that
on,
because I need that.
You know,
Appeal
it's
to-
not going to help you make any money.
That's fine. I like to go down that.
It's not gonna help you bring people into your gym unless you maybe advertise it.
It's not going to make you $1.
It's not gonna.
In
It's
gonna
fact, you
drive
might
me
lose
crazy.
money.
right.
It's going to drive me crazy, which I want.
Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. Frankie Pro, thanks for coming out and not
Appreciate you,
bailing
Frank.
on it so last minute like you did last time.
It was 3 weeks ago. I had to do it.
It
Sorry.
was. I appreciate it, and consider subscribing. If you like my merch, you can buy it down below. Click the link, and go to Paramount Gym. And
If
also
you like
go,
our merch, you have to come to the gym.
Yeah, you do have to go
Hey,
to the gym.
you have to go to the gym because they don't have a website.
Free
And,
sweatshirts with every
We do have
membership.
a website. We
have
just
a
don't sell
website.
apparel
and
on the
hit up
website.
Frankie Pro for professional strongman training.
And nutrition. 'cause
And
he's
nutrition.
super smart.
He is a really smart guy.
Thanks.
I love you, Frank.